Hello human beings, Power Gamer here, conquering the world one game at a time, and life has been way too slow lately. I need energy, I need speed, I need something that is about going fast and nothing else. That'll work.
Sonic the Hedgehog, the only video game character that is simultaneously one of the most beloved and one of the most hated. People either adore or despise this speedy blue 90s icon for many reasons. Personally, I love Sonic. I've only played a handful of games in the series, but I've really enjoyed most of what I played. But how exactly did this gaming icon come to be? In 1988, shortly after the release of the Sega Genesis, Sega of Japan began an in-house competition to create a mascot that would rival Mario. After a few failed attempts, artist Naoto Oshima proposed the idea of a hedgehog, and eventually combined elements of Felix the Cat and Mickey Mouse to create the prototype for Sonic. He then went around Central Park, New York, and asked people what they thought of several characters, with Sonic being the fan favorite. He went through a few more design tweaks, including color changes and some ideas to flesh out his character. This included putting him in a rock band, giving him fangs, and even giving him a human girlfriend.
Those are certainly some weird ideas. I mean, can you imagine them doing any of that?
Originally named Mr. Hedgehog, the 8-person development team decided to instead name him Sonic, and they would then be known as Sonic Team. Developer Yuji Naka was then tasked with fleshing out the game, and he decided to make essentially a faster version of Super Mario Bros. Development for the game lasted around 6 months, and it was apparently very stressful. Naka, Oshima, and level designer Hirokazu Yasuhara apparently worked for 19 hours a day during that time, and that sounds awful. Yuji Naka's relationship with Sega was pretty strained after this. Along with the fact that he received very little credit for his work, he left the company shortly after the game's release. Speaking of the game's release, that took place on June 23rd, 1991, and it sold like wildfire. It was the best-selling game in America for several months. And Sonic was able to do what he was always meant to do: outsell Mario. This was the best-selling home console game of the year, and Sonic quickly became Sega's mascot, as this became the pack-in title for the Genesis, which is why so many copies have this not-for-resale banner on it. This was also the birth of the first major rivalry in video games. Yeah, you know how people talk about how Mario and Sonic were rivals back in the day? This is what they were talking about.
And since I just played Mario, why not take a look at Sonic? After all, the series did celebrate its 30th anniversary this year, so let's see if this game really deserved to be Mario's rival.
So the story of this game is incredibly basic. The evil scientist, Dr. Ivo Robotnik, seeks the power of the 6 Chaos Emeralds. To steal them, he's captured innocent animals and turned some of them into robots while placing others in containment units. Because of this, Sonic the Hedgehog sets off to save him. Now, like most retro games, you won't know the story unless you read the manual or look it up online. When you start the game, it throws you right into the first level, Green Hill Zone. One of the most iconic opening levels in any game ever, and it's not hard to see why. This level shows you what Sonic is all about. First and foremost, speed. Unlike other platformers at the time, Sonic doesn't have a run button. Instead, he gradually gains speed and momentum as he runs. The better you play, the faster you go. You can also pick up speed by rolling into a ball, which you do by holding down. Your main method of defending yourself against the robots is by either jumping on them or rolling into them. And since there are animals inside them, you see the little animal run away every time you defeat one. But speed isn't the only thing Sonic games are known for. They're also known for their expansive level design. Every level has multiple paths you can take to reach the end, as opposed to other platformers which just have one set path. And I think this is great for replayability, since you can go exploring and find paths you didn't know about before, some of which hide optional secrets and items. Throughout the game, you find these rings, which act similar to the coins in Mario, but there is one key difference. These act as your life bar. Every time you get hit, you lose all of your rings. Every single one. You can get some of them back if you're fast enough, but otherwise, they're gone. Since you lose all your rings when you get hit, if you have at least one ring, you'll be fine, but if you don't have any rings, you die. You also die from bottomless pits, getting crushed, whatever just happened there, and another one we'll get to later. You can also find a few power-ups. There's the shield, which lets you take a hit without losing your rings, the speed shoes, which let you run even faster, and this invincibility power-up.
And I am not gonna go power hungry this time, I've learned my lesson.
The graphics hold up pretty well. For 1991, this game looks great and has some really good animations. And the music. Ugh, the music. Sonic games are known for having awesome music, and this game is no exception. I love this game's soundtrack. Every piece of music is a banger, and I love all of them, except for one, but I'll explain that in a minute. The game's levels are split up by zones, each with their own theme. Each zone has 3 acts, giving a total of 18 levels. Green Hill Zone, which I already discussed, it's vibrant, colorful, and huge. It's awesome. Marble Hill Zone. This level kinda blows. It's a lot of waiting around and doing nothing. It's also home to these caterpillar things I can't stand. Their hitboxes are so awkward. Spring Yard Zone. This level's better, but still not that great. You get more speed, but you also have to wait for these block things. Labyrinth Zone. This is hands down the worst level in the entire game. It's filled with water, and because Sonic Team thought hedgehogs couldn't swim, Sonic can barely move. Look at how slow this is. It's miserable. And remember how I said there was another method of dying? That would be drowning. Anyone who's played this game knows this infamous music. It's so sudden and it's horrifying, and if you don't get air by the time the counter hits 0, you need to get one of these air bubbles at every opportunity. Do not take chances, because for some baffling reason, they take so long to make a bubble, so you can have some time left, but it decides to just not give you one. Screw you, game. Next is Starlight Zone, and now we're back on track. This is a much better level. It's hard, but it's fun. And finally is Scrap Brain Zone. This level is interesting because every act feels unique. Act 1 has little to no floor, Act 2 has all these machines, and Act 3 is Labyrinth Zone Act 4. The first 2 acts end when you pass the sign, and if you have at least 50 rings when you beat them, you can jump into this giant ring which takes you to a bonus level, and what the hell is going on here? So you are in this constantly rotating maze, and you have to make your way through the path and break all these crystals to get the Chaos Emerald in the center. It ends either when you get to it or you hit one of these things. I really don't like these bonus levels. It's so hard to navigate and see where you're going. And the only purpose of getting the Chaos Emeralds is getting the best ending and some continues.
Oh boy, continues.
Like with Mario, Sonic only has 3 lives when you start, and when you lose them all, it's game over. Like I said, you can find some continues, but when you run out, it's back to the beginning. You know why I hated this in Mario, and here it's even worse since the game is much longer, and extra lives are even more rare. You can find them in these boxes, which are about as common as the green mushrooms in Mario. You also get an extra life when you collect 100 rings, but since those rings are your health bar, you can't afford to get hit if you want more lives. On top of that, your rings reset to 0 every time you beat a level. And my god, what is it with this game and unpredictable garbage? From tiny projectiles you can barely see, to beginner straps, to unavoidable damage, and what the hell was that? The enemy was off screen! And how did that projectile go that far? God, this game just has no mercy. Really? Really? Here you have these platforms that open before you can react. Moments where you just barely scrape a hazard and take damage. Drowning because the bubble appeared a second too late. And look at this right here. Get out of the bumpers. Out of the bumpers. Get out. Get on the platform. Get on it. Get on the freaking platform. How was I supposed to get through that without getting hit? How? And what the hell happened there? Oh, come on. Again? All right, I just need some air. Oh, come on!
Son of a...
At the end of Act 3 in every zone, you have to fight Robotnik. You have to hit him 8 times before his machine explodes and you release all the animals in the containment unit. Green Hill Zone, you just have to avoid this ball. Marble Hill Zone, you jump over the lava and avoid these fireballs. Spring Yard Zone, you avoid the spike in the bottomless pit. Give me a break. Labyrinth Zone, you literally just have to outrun the water. You don't need to hit him. A terrible boss fight for a terrible zone. Starlight Zone, you get probably the best fight in the game. You have to use these seesaws to bounce either the spike balls or yourself at him, and it's pretty fun. Scrap Brain Zone, you don't actually have a boss fight here. Instead, it takes you to Final Zone. And the award for most creative title for a final level goes to... not this. This fight is kinda lame. You avoid these plasma balls and wait for 2 of these platforms to come up, then hit whichever one Robotnik's in. Sounds easy, right? Wrong! This level has no rings. None. So you have to beat it without getting hit once. It's not the hardest thing out there, but why? Why no rings? That's just stupid. So you beat him, and he runs off, but you smash his machine and save the day. Sonic then runs off, and if you get all the Chaos Emeralds, he uses them to grow some plants. Was it worth it? No. You then watch the credits and either see Robotnik juggling the emeralds or jumping in anger.
Sonic the Hedgehog isn't that great. It certainly has its moments, but overall the game just has a lot of frustrating moments that leave a bad taste in my mouth.
While the game is totally playable, I don't think it's amazing. It's a fine game if you're curious, but you can easily skip it. If you're looking to get into the Sonic series, I think Sonic 2 is a much better place to start. That's where I got my start with the series.
But who knows, maybe you'll see more value in it than I did. If you are curious, it's available on a lot of other collections and platforms.
Yeah, if you thought Mario was available on a lot of other platforms, just look at Sonic. There are so many collections, ports, and other ways to play this game. It's insane, and I'd say most of them are superior to the original version since a lot of them actually let you save your progress. Some even add features that weren't in the original game. Just avoid the Game Boy Advance version like the plague. Slow down and screen crunch. I will leave it at that.
Sonic's first outing is alright, but it's not something I see myself going back to anytime soon. However, he did inspire me to live my life as fast as possible, and because of that, my court hearing is next Thursday.